So basically, if you eat pao during your shift, right, means that there will be a lot of...
Oh no!
Then must see ghosts also, right?
Very true. I believe this because it happens. I'm a VIP. I'm here to make sure you all don't escape.
Oh. This is the time guys, don't go home. You cannot tell them.
You know, a good death, right, is really just...
Okay, welcome back to another episode where today we'll be diving into the industry of nursing. We will figure out if nurses can actually eat paos in a hospital, how they deal with death. Okay, so with that, let's welcome our special guest for today, Reina.
Hey.
Welcome.
I'm Reina. I'm a staff nurse working at Singapore General Hospital. I've been a nursing student for 4 years and 2 years as a full-time nurse. So I'm currently specialised in doing research, innovation and clinical. It's a hybrid role.
Right. So wait, it takes 4 years of study to be a nurse, one.
Actually, because I took a degree, right? So it took about, as in, if you want to take a degree without honours, right, it's 3 years. Right. But I decided to do with honours. So I did a research thesis. So it took 4 years.
Overachiever.
As you do, I can tell.
Why did you decide to choose this line of work?
During JC, right, I actually volunteered a lot at healthcare related events. So that inspired me to want to do something related to healthcare discipline. I went to do more research after A-levels and I realized that out of all the healthcare disciplines, I think nursing stood out as an ideal choice for me, simply because it's a very versatile career. There's a lot of specialties that you can specialize in. And at the same time also, right, I didn't want a desk-bound job. I didn't want to work in the office.
Yeah, hands-on.
Yeah. So more hands-on, So that's why, nursing stood out as the ideal choice for me.
So that means everybody joins as a clinical nurse and then do you already indicate an area of interest or you have to do like 1 year or 2 years already, then you start to specialize or you decide?
I mean, there are people who already have an interest when they come in. Yeah. Maybe they are interested in critical care like A&E. They like to watch Grey's Anatomy and then they want to do all these adrenaline pumping things, right? Then then when you go into nursing, right, you can indicate this interest to your boss, like your supervisors. But usually people tend to have clinical experience, certain amount of clinical experience, then they decide to specialize in something.
But are there instances in which, because the nurse has way more hours spent with the patient, right, and they might be able to go, wait, I think maybe this diagnosis is not quite right, I feel like it might be this instead. Are there instances of that?
We actually do actively play a role in influencing their care plan. So we do suggest things.
Yeah.
One instance could be, the patient came in for surgery. During their course of their stay, right, we do notice certain changes because we spend so much time with patients, right?
Yeah.
We do notice nuances maybe in their mood, their behavior, their appetite, or even their physical condition. Using objective eating and drinking assessment, right, we notice how come the patient, every time they eat and drink, they will cough.
Right.
Yeah, so then we notice this. Then from the assessment itself, we can tell, maybe the patient got swallowing difficulties.
Yeah.
We can actually suggest to the doctor, doctor, I think the patient has swallowing difficulties. Could we refer to a speech therapist?
Right.
Yeah, so, then when the speech therapist comes on board, they can change, the patient's diet texture or even their liquid consistency.
Right.
Yep.
Okay, this might be like a small incident. But actually, from the medical point of view, right, you're actually preventing something called aspiration pneumonia. Aspiration pneumonia is something like a chest infection. So, when your food, right, instead of going to your digestive tract, right, it goes to your respiratory tract. Yeah, right? Because every time you eat, you cough, and then it goes to your respiratory tract.
Going down the wrong hole.
Yeah, wrong hole, correct. Yeah. So we get to be patient's advocate. Yeah.
Okay.
So you've been debunking quite a few more common myths, right, that people have about your industry, right? And we have a few more, okay? So help us to debunk. Nurses cannot have tattoos or piercings.
I would say that's not true. I think we...
Hey, this is other people. It's common.
Piercings definitely okay. Like for females, right, piercings still remain the same, which is the lowest earlobe and one pair only. Yeah. But for tattoos wise, right, I think in the past, a stereotype against tattoos, right, they think it's like bad influence. Yeah. But a lot of the nurses that I know, right, their tattoos are all very cute. Yeah, very innocuous, like cartoon characters, right? Yeah. And policies are changing, right? So now I think the recent town hall, we actually allow a certain percentage of visible tattoos when you're wearing the uniform. Yeah, so there is an improvement.
Okay. Time suggestion, so you can go and get one really.
So the limitation is 2, but then if like I nose ring
cannot. No, years, definitely years
that's nothing to do with nursing. That's like a uniform.
It's like we still have a professional image to uphold as well. Yeah.
Okay. So on
imagine your grandmother though, she panics. Then piercing. I also get.
But if it's cute,
must be cute. You must style it.
No, so on the point of uniforms, right? Do you all have like a coded uniform? Like like air stewardess, all this kind, right? The different color represent different rank. Nurse, is it the same?
Same. Red color will be enroll nurses. Then blue color will be registered nurses. Yeah. And then if you see there's a colorful one, right? It's actually nurse clinicians. or nurse managers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then if you see orange color, those are the directors.
If I'm a patient, right, then I don't want to talk to like the lower rank one. I want my problem to be solved.
Orange
so I
one?
purposely look for the orange one.
No, orange one, they don't really, they're directors. They work in the office. Not so much on the ground. Yeah. But there are many instances where, patients, they want to speak to manager. So manager is the colorful one.
Okay, colourful. Yeah, colourful.
This happens in nursing also.
It's like
I want to
very
speak
common.
to your manager happens to nurses.
I mean, after all, we are like a customer-centered role, right?
it's a service-based role.
Yeah, it's a
lah.
service-based role.
But it's like, why you want to piss off your nurse?
That's right. But it's like, why you want to piss off the waiter so they can speak your food, but a lot of people still do.
No, but not when your food's here, ma.
So you were saying enroll nurse and registered nurse. What's the difference?
So enrolled nurses, they have ITE diploma. Yeah, whereas for registered nurse, you can either have a polytechnic diploma or degree.
Okay. So it's called like based on
Qualifications, I guess.
Understood.
So when you up rank, then you will be presented with the...
No, you go and collect lah, not presented. You can just collect.
No ceremony.
It's like some ceremony, yeah.
I think we are just supposing too much to energy.
Yeah.
Our community actually shared with us. It's about paos. Have you heard?
Yes, I know about pao lah. So basically, if you eat pao during your shift, right, it means that there will be a lot of deaths, right? Because tapao, the patient, right? I personally encountered because none of my colleagues will want to eat pao during shift. Yeah, but there are instances, right, where patients' family members, right, like sometimes they want to buy us food, right? Then they buy pao.
Oh no!
Yeah.
And then everybody just like shocked. So we'll tell the morning shift to bring back the pao, so that it's not in the...
Get it out of here.
Yeah.
So cute. But you're hungry as shit, but you want to
But we
protect your
still...
patients.
Yeah,
So you all believe,
we cannot confirm that. Anyway, there's a research study. Do you know there's a research study done? So they showed that there's no correlation between eating pao and deaths.
The
fact that they needed to do a study.
means it was a rampant problem, because like the guy at the food court complaining.
I think it's a
I sell pao, but you don't buy pao.
Just don't sell pao there.
Why you force me to sell pao?
Actually, I never really see pao being sold at our
That's why-
kopitiam.
that's why.
Yeah.
The drinks guy figure it out.
Don't make sense already.
Yeah.
No, but
But
you
then
just
you're
don't
not
want...
tempted to try, meh?
Yeah, like,
You don't want to be that one nurse, right? That goes,
Yeah.
guys, the research show already, it's okay, I'm going to eat, and then suddenly got one death, right? It's on
unless
you.
the patient's an asshole, then you just bring him pao and you just
Oh my god. No, but I don't think the pao is like specific to which patient. You know what I mean?
you
Yeah.
It's lottery at that point of time. Don't
But
take the
patients
chance.
or like family members of patients, if they accidentally see somebody else eating a pao in the hospital, they got conflict one.
No, because I think a lot of people don't know about this superstition. That's why they proceed to buy pao for the patient or they give us pao.
see.
The pao superstition is nurse cannot eat.
Nurse cannot eat. Yeah, nurse cannot. Yeah.
So patient and family, okay.
But better not. Yeah.
Have you seen somebody like pass away?
I think because from the ward that I'm in, right, even though it's a multidisciplinary ward, right, it's predominantly oncology. So it's relating to cancer. So definitely, if you have patients with cancer, right, prognosis usually are not very good. Yeah, so death occurs quite frequently. Yeah, fairly frequently in the ward lah. It's inevitable.
After witnessing so many deaths in your line of work, what's your relationship or outlook with death?
Because I grew up in an environment where I thought death is a taboo, right? I tried to dismiss it. I tried to not talk about it.
Right.
Yeah. So I think when I was a nursing student, right, there was this patient, I still remember her. She was like, see you in my next life, because she was going to discharge. And then she's still actually walking. So I didn't really expect that she will pass on so soon. But she says, see you in my next life with a lot of conviction. She was sure that, she,
Almost
yeah,
positive
It will
about
happen.
almost positive
Yeah.
about it. And then because last time I thought it was a taboo, right, as a nursing student, so I always try to dismiss it. I'll try to distract her and tell her other topics. No lah, don't say this kind of thing. I'll see you outside. That kind of thing, right? But over time, I realized that a good death, right, is really just acknowledging that death is approaching.
Yeah.
And when you acknowledge that, right, and the family members also acknowledge that, right, they express themselves better. They tell each other what they want to do, what kind of wishes that they want to do, right? And that results in a more peaceful death to me.
Yeah, I think it gives them a better relationship with their death. Because I think when it comes unexpected and they have this illusion that everything is way more optimistic than it is, then it actually hurts way more than it really should.
Is it true that conditions actually get better for patients just before they pass?
Oh, that's quite interesting because, right, I think this one, right, is you need to be a healthcare professional for quite some time, right, to actually notice this lah. It's like instinct, kind of like an instinct. Because sometimes, right, patients, when you think of someone dying, right, you think of someone slowly deteriorating, right, slowly they are not able to speak, then they become bedbound. But then, right, as in based on my own experience, sometimes the patient suddenly one day, right, they become like, for example, they are very weak and they're like bed bound. Suddenly one day, right, they can sit up, right, they can talk to you very well, and they start talking to their family members, right, and then over time you realize that means that probably the patient is not doing well, because shortly after, right, the next day, right, they're gone.
It's a phenomenon, right? There's a name for this. It's called
It's interesting. It's almost like they're giving you one last chance to just like say your goodbyes.
But they do, So when they start to become like more conscious, more alert, right? They suddenly all the family members come and then they talk to their family members, right? Yeah. So I
guess that's the positive outcome, because the opposite could be true that suddenly now there's hope. Now I've got time, so now I can take my time to go and visit. Like I think it's the hope that sometimes like will really ruin people. But it's good that I guess we talk about this so that people know like if this happens, I think it's really good to just go and say everything you want to say.
But neither can if then and there it happens to your family, the nurses can say like, hey, you don't see
but we
like
cannot.
now.
We cannot say that.
So even though all your 20 years of wisdom tells you that this is the time, guys, don't go home, stay the night, right?
Yeah.
You cannot tell them.
Nurses avoid saying phrases like it's quiet or today is a chill day.
Yes, very true. Very true. I believe this because it happens. I have this nursing colleague. He really, I think, testing my patients. Like he purposely, so during shift, he was saying like, wow, very quiet. He himself know about this superstition, right? He still say this kind of thing. And then at first I only had one empty bed. So I only got one patient to admit. And when I saw the patient that was coming in, right, the diagnosis was just low sodium, right? So I would think that it's quite simple. No, not eat some salt.
Sure.
IV drip lah. IV drip.
Sure. Simple
right?
lah.
So I thought it's simple.
Something with umami.
After that, when the patient came, right, everything was low. All his blood components were low. So the whole shift, I was busy trying to, replace all the electrolytes.
It's like a jinx lah.
It's a jinx. Yeah, it's true.
I think it happens all like in service industry also. Like your restaurant is like okay manageable. Then someone say like quite manageable. Boom, suddenly it's a crowd.
Yeah.
I think
so if you want business,
say
it lah.
Say it.
Go to the hardware store downstairs your house and be like, wow, nobody. I don't know how they survive.
Have there been any like interesting encounters or experiences with patients? Like, do you have any very memorable experiences as a nurse?
I'll say interesting stories, right? Mostly come from patients who are confused. If you don't pee for more than 6 hours, then we'll need to check your bladder, whether there's a lot of urine stuck inside. And if you can't get it out, right, then we have to insert catheter. So, insert catheter. So, the bladder scanner, right, is like an ultrasound. It looks like an ultrasound. So basically, you have to scan and then you look for the bladder and then it can tell you how much urine is left inside. So this was shared by my nursing friend. So she was saying that she was scanning the bladder and then the patient was like, am I pregnant? But that's not the funny part. The funny part is the patient is a guy, he's an uncle. But he's confused, they are delirious.
I'm trying to create a smart joke.
No, he's dead serious. He's legit serious about it. I'll say other interesting stories, right? Sometimes patients very confused, right? So there are a lot of times where patients they take their bag, right, and they want to sneak off and go home. Even though already established that they have to stay, right? But they keep forgetting. There's like a patient quite memorable to me. So she took her bag and then she want to faster go home. I need to take taxi and go home. But because we have big alarm, right? So every time you try to climb out, it will ring. So it will ring, yeah. I mean, we set the alarm. If we know that you're a high 4 risk patient, we'll set the alarm.
Flight risk.
So she keep insisting she want to take a taxi and go home. And no matter how many times we reorientate her, right? We tell her you're in the hospital, like you're not supposed to go home, your family wants you to be here, right? She still cannot remember. So we had to be creative, right? We actually brought out the geriatric chair. We put it at the corridor. So the geriatric chair, right, is like a normal chair, but it comes with a seatbelt. And you can also put a table to lock you in there. So we put the geriatric chair at the corridor where we're at. And then we slowly walk her there. We say we bring you taxi. Right. So then she sit there, then we strap her in. We try and tell her that she's in the taxi. Then we give her newspaper to read also. Yeah.
It's so cute.
No,
it's so well
press the button
it's well mannered. It's well.
But because she's a very cute patient, so her neighboring patients all know her. The neighboring patients are all mobile, so they can walk. So when they come out and then they see her, right, then she will say, I'm a VIP. I'm here to make sure you all don't escape. Yeah. And then they all laugh because she's the one that keeps trying to escape. It's very ironic, right? Yeah.
So cute.
Okay, there's this cute question from our community also. What is something that we as the public can do to make their lives easier at work when we visit hospitals? That is the question.
Here's the thing for nurses.
I would say, because there are quite a lot of family members who actually want to be approved caregiver. So we have something called a caregiver, right? So which means that you can visit the patient outside of visiting hours. Yeah, but the problem is that, right, as a caregiver, you're supposed to participate in patient's care, right? It's not meant for you to have exclusive access after visiting hours. But I think people tend to, abuse that. Yeah. So, if you intend to be a caregiver, right, I hope the public can actually participate in patients' care, help with, patient care, maybe bring them to go toilet or help them with their ADLs.
Okay lah, fair enough. At first I was thinking like, is it not allowed to ask though?
From the public, right?
Yeah.
I mean, especially if, it's maybe your mom or your dad, you want to help your parents, right?
Yeah.
Or your own family members, right?
To an extent lah, because if my mom wants to go to the toilet and pee, then she doesn't want my help.
Okay, understandable.
Understandable. Yeah.
Then you are not the right caregiver.
Yeah.
Maybe.
There are a couple of medical terms, okay, that I want the two of you to try and guess, and then she'll explain. Okay?
I watch a lot of Grey's Anatomy at first.
I don't.
Okay,
I watch a lot of House.
Since you're so confident, what is code grey?
Oxygen level. No, that one you
But
turn
I
blue,
mentioned
right?
before
Then you
just
turn
now.
blue.
I mentioned before just now.
Fall down. As if you do the color or like guess put out from the color.
Guess put out from the color one,
Okay.
yeah.
Because like code blue can guess from the color.
Like flight
Actually, no one
risk.
can tell from...
Wait, there's also code blue.
There's also code
I know
blue.
code blue. I'm gonna watch Grey's Anatomy.
Okay, so what is code blue?
You guess.
Oxygen level. I would imagine like cause blue oxygenated blood is
When
red.
code blue, everybody starts running.
Like I think some form of resuscitation required one,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
Okay,
So
okay,
code
okay.
blue...
Because the fella turn blue ma, so I feel like I get it.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Then grey got okay. Now knowing that grey got any meaning?
Before you continue guessing, can you explain like or share about code blue? Like, have you experienced it
Code
before?
blue will be, so for example, if once the patient start to deteriorate, maybe their blood pressure start to drop or their oxygen levels start to drop as well, right? Desaturation, right? And then it requires resuscitation, then we'll pull the bell, code blue. Yeah. So once you see code blue, right, and the bell starts ringing, right, everybody will start running to resuscitate and help with.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, and you've had this encounter before?
I mean, definitely. I mean, in the hospital, definitely we have code blue.
Everybody. How
Every,
many people do you actually need? Like how's the 3?
I say everybody will start running, and then if you're not necessary, right, if you're not helping out, right, then you can just
Right,
It's just nearest and nearest
nearest,
goal.
so that,
it-
yeah.
Start checking them
Yeah. Okay, wow. And the do not resuscitate is based on either their advanced care plan or what their preferences are. La.
It's maybe the patient. I mean, they established it before it actually happened.
Understand. Okay.
So all this code has to do with patients one lah, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Code grey is them being very like violent.
Yes.
Oh!
Yeah, got it.
Because recalling what she no, I said. Because recalling what she talked about.
I went to thumbs up because like it's usually the one.
I think code grey, right, is more commonly used at A&E, I heard.
So there's a string to pull, or you just call somebody, or
Why don't you just say like help? As in like,
They do say lah, help lah. I think code grey, yeah, they'll just...
the code grey and the guy flipping his little book.
No lah, no.
no. But it's like because the thing is that you don't want to alarm any other patient around. Also. I think it's important for like the nurses to always show like some level of composure, and so that all the other patients don't panic. So like saying help, right, it's like, oh my god, what's going on? But saying code grey,
yeah.
grey feels like, oh,
Chill.
chill.
Peaceful serenity.
Yeah.
This other myth is that it's easy to get a nursing job anywhere. I think people assume that.
But it's true. It is what? I would say that's one of the perks of a nursing qualification. The good selling point is job security, right? We can do any like pretty much everywhere is in need of nurses. Yeah.
Okay.
Super in demand.
All nurses do is administer medication and change bandages. Is that true?
I don't think that is true lah. We have several different career tracks. I think the public is more familiar with clinical track, but there's other tracks available like education, management, informatics, research and innovation also.
And yours is research and innovation.
Mine is research and innovation. Yeah.
But when you do that track, you still have to do clinical work, right?
Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's a hybrid role, I would say. So 3 days I'll spend on research and innovation work. 2 days I'll be in the ward doing clinical work.
You can't lose touch lah with the
Correct.
ground
So
stuff. Yeah.
the clinical work is really very important. Even for full-time research and innovation nurses, right, they still need to fulfill at least 1 day of
Right.
clinical work.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are you researching, innovating about?
So we'll do different research. We research on evidence-based practice, and a lot of the research and innovation work actually stems from clinical duties. So when we work in a ward, we're exposed to challenges that patients face, or even operational and systemic hurdles that healthcare professionals actually face.
So what's something that you're working on now?
I think it's not convenient to share,
Sure.
because we haven't published, or some innovative products that we actually made, right, haven't...
It's too nascent.
Haven't finalized yet. But other than that, right, we do have nurses who already created interesting innovations lah. For example, one of my nursing colleagues, right, senior nurse manager Andrea Cho, she came up with IV Nimble. So basically, gamified version of how to train nurses to insert intravenous cannula. You know the cannula that you know the needle, right?
The hell.
Yeah, so they are using AI. So there's a virtual patient avatar. You can talk to the avatar, right? And then there's a silicone mannequin. So the silicone mannequin hand, right, is supposed to resemble the patient's different skin texture, skin color, and even the vein difficulty.
Wow.
Interesting.
Sometimes we even collaborate with other companies. For example, Blue Mirror. You stand in front of the tablet, right? And then you don and doff the PPE. It's able to tell you whether you are doing it correctly or not. And whether you're following the steps.
Right.
Yeah.
What's interesting is because I think initially when you mentioned research and innovation, it just sounds like, it's so vague, but it's all down to ensuring that the nursing experience and the patient experience is more and more optimized.
It's a whole incubator program is what I'm seeing. I'm seeing money actually.
Actually, that's true because we do attend courses related to biodesign, like SG Biodesign, right? And my director of nursing, right, Miss Ang, she's also a SG Biodesign faculty fellow.
Right.
Yeah. So she helps to mentor a lot of nurses with, innovation and research work.
You are absolutely right in that. I think we all have a bit of a misconception of what the nursing job is all about, but there's really so much more that you don't see beyond just the what. Wow. Okay.
Do different specializations like pay differently? Like got any particular specialization pay
Like
very well?
oncology nurses raking in the dough.
I wouldn't say there's a pay difference, but if you decide to work in the office, right, then sometimes you are not able to do 3 rotating shifts. The allowance, night shift allowance, you won't get. Yeah, so
the money is.
So that's where the difference is, I guess.
Okay. Actually, speaking on that, right, I think one of the very common, I don't know whether it's a myth, from my understanding is that the working hours suck.
You work 5 days a week.
Work 5 days a week,
And
yes.
per shift is...
So there's 3 different shifts. There's morning shift, 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. There's afternoon shift, 12:30 to 9:30.
Oh, there's
and
overlap.
there's also night shift also. But night shift is longer, 12 hours.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, so besides being able to plot, meaning you can request from your to your manager, like I want to work a specific day as morning shift, you can get to choose the shifts also. And my nursing managers are quite nice. So they will try to accommodate your request.
Is there like a you must do one night shift a week, and is there like a you must do one weekend, that kind?
Definitely lah, because if you're on 3 rotating shifts, you have to do all 3 rotating shifts. You need to do day, afternoon, night.
Right.
You can't possibly take the 3 rotating allowance, right? And then you just do two shifts.
If not, I want to do morning and work at 4, like quite short. Okay. Makes sense.
Is night shift better?
Actually, it depends, honestly. Because last time when I was doing night shift, right, I felt that it was better in a sense that you had more time to do things. It's slower pace. But I think the problem with it is that, when I go home, I'm very, very tired.
No, but what I mean is like the shift a little bit more zobo, no?
It depends, honestly depends.
Right,
Sometimes
right.
it can get very busy. Yeah.
I see.
If there's a lot of empty beds, a lot of admissions, right?
Then
Then
must see ghosts also, right?
Whoa!
see ghosts. Personally, I never seen any ghosts lah, but there are stories from other people.
Yeah, I think so.
Like what? What have you heard?
I think last time because we had a suite, right? Before renovation, I don't think the toilets were still manual flush.
Right.
So there were nobody staying in the suite at the point of time. Right? But then at night, right, you can hear the toilet bowl being flushed. Yeah.
That's okay. I can deal with
It's a
that.
plumbing problem.
Yeah, I can deal with that.
No, but it flushed by itself.
That's why.
Yeah.
That's harmless.
You just happen to be there, you just
I
coexist.
saw one though, like there was a nurse that like I think
Yeah.
like she fell asleep at at her desk on shift. Then she woke up in the place where they
mortuary.
stored the mortuary.
Confirm myth lah, because how can you sleep during shift,
Maybe
right?
she sleepwalk.
It's not me.
If let's say I want to be a nurse today, right, like really as me, which I'm completely unqualified to do, right, can I like just go to, for example, SGH and say I want to apply to be a nurse?
No, you definitely need
Okay.
qualifications, right, to become a nurse. It can't be anybody just come to SGH.
But then SGH train.
There's no, I would say you have to do educational qualifications.
okay.
You need to get educational qualifications.
Like every other job lah.
Yeah, like every other job. Yeah. I would say there's many routes to nursing, as compared to
Okay.
other professions. You can go through ITE to get ITE diploma.
Okay.
Right.
A higher NITEC lah. Or you can go through Polytechnic and get a diploma. You can go through a degree route, or even masters. There's post-grad certifications as well lah.
Right.
Or even if you're currently in a different career, you want to transition into nursing, there are career conversion programs available.
Right. I have this theory that many people, when they think about nursing, right, their first thing is that they're going to clean up people's shit and piss, right? But my gut feeling tells me that is not even a problem. It's just a normal thing.
I mean, definitely you have to change diapers as a nurse, but we have healthcare assistants. Yeah, so you don't, because that's the thing, right? People always come and ask, why you need a degree to change diapers? But precisely, it's true, right? Why do you need a degree to change diapers? You don't need it.
Yeah.
Right? So actually, changing diapers, anyone can do it. So we have healthcare assistants, even though they don't have nursing qualifications, right? They can change diapers.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they help us.
Workshop. Okay lah.
Yeah, so they help us
Okay.
with changing diapers. But usually I try to do it myself. I don't want to trouble other people. Yeah.
Right.
But you can
But then
definitely ask.
they might lose their job there because
No, but you can do other things also, healthcare assistants, like serving diet. Yeah.
As long as you do it right.
Yeah, right and clean.
You have to choose before you even begin the course of study.
As in choose what?
Because if say I'm not sure, I want to enter the medical field, but then I don't know whether I want to be doctor or I want to be
Actually,
nurse.
I think I've heard of nurses, right, who actually studied nursing degree, right, but eventually they became doctors.
Oh.
There's post-grad. I think if I'm not wrong, there's also post-grad conversion.
Does SGH sponsor that?
Yes, we do have sponsorships. Very grateful because my university course fees were actually covered by MOHH through the Healthcare Merit Award.
So this career conversion program, I'm not sure how much you know about it, but like how long does that take?
It's about 2 years.
Like not bad only? Okay,
Yeah.
and compared
Like
to like the
doable.
4 years. Yeah. Doable.
And so after that, everybody goes to a hospital. Like you start work at a hospital. Nursing jobs are only in
right,
hospital.
a lot of nurses, right, they are either sponsored or they have a scholarship.
Yeah.
So if you're sponsored or have a scholarship, you definitely have to pay back, right? So you're bonded. So you're bonded for a certain amount of years.
So guaranteed job lah is what I'm
Yes,
hearing.
guaranteed job. Yes.
Job security and tenure. But actually like there are nurses like in a lot of different settings also. Like I'm imagining like private clinics.
Yes, definitely.
Those nurses had to have come from like hospital background or even like private caregiver, like a very rich billionaire now like bedridden, need nurse.
Yeah. Also have. Yeah,
Okay,
there's also
okay,
private
okay.
nurses. Yeah. So job security law. Besides public hospital, there's private sector as well, like private hospitals or
Yeah.
clinics. Yeah.
Actually, many of them also want to do it so they can better take care of their own family at home.
Yes, that's
true,
true.
true,
That's true. Yeah.
Okay, so thank you so much, Reina, for joining us and sharing so much about nursing.
Thank you.
We've learned so much.
Really.
We would also like to thank MOHH for supporting this episode. And if you'd like to know more about nursing, you can go to the link in the description box below to check out their website, Care to Go Beyond. We'll see you in the next episode. Bye.
Ciao.
Have you tried the adult diaper just for shits and giggles?
No lah. No.
That was my dream.
How you can buy
You can
anytime
just
in
buy it,
China?
right?
I know. I like brought it back. Like when my mom hospitalized, then there's a bunch of adult diapers there.
So you tried it?
I just brought one home, thinking that one day,
Yeah.
I
You
just
need
want to take a shit like driving. You know what I mean? Like I just want to do something with it.
But it's such an achievable dream.
I
It is.
never got that. You try it? Okay, so now I tell you. If you
Yeah.
I want to know how it feels like, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll pay for everything. Then you can do.
For how many hours I have to wear the same diaper?
No need. Just take a piss or take a shit.
Okay.
Oh my.
Okay.
You know?
But actually, a lot of people when they travel overseas, right? Sometimes the travel agency tell you need to prepare diapers, because the journey will be very long.
Right.
But now they got the thing, the bag with the cup.
Yeah.
So you can just unload into a
No,
bag.
but
and
you still
throw.
need to take out your pants on the tour bus and take a shit with
No.
you know what I mean?
Your pants got where got
But
space.
you need to take out your pants, correct?
No, but we do have something like that in the hospital. It's a catheter, but it's just like a condom catheter.
Yo,
Yeah.
whoa! How did people come out with catheter first even? You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
why is that the first
I hate
choice?
the person who created the shit.
Have you ever cathetered?
Never,
right?
I've heard of it.
Let's put a
Is that
stick right in
one
his
of
dick hole.
your
No. That one deal breaker.
right?
That one like what? I'll cancel already. The cancer grew out already. I'm like, catheter. I'm like, never mind.
Do not be such a thing.